Good morning, students. We will continue with our chapter Resources and Development. Today, we will learn about land as a resource. I want to start with this video, which gives us some nice information which we have learned in Standard 9.
World with a geographical area of a job saved today is a job available for tomorrow. India is the 7th largest country in the world with a geographical area of about 3.28 million square kilometers. This land is a valuable resource that
So, our land is a very valuable resource. Why land as a resource is important? Land is the habitat of man. All economic activities are performed on the land. The soil cover on the land is essential for plant growth. So land is necessary for agriculture. Land is used to set up industrial units also. Roads and railways are also built on land. Commercial activities also require land. Natural vegetation and wildlife are also supported by land. We live on land. We perform all our economic activities on land. We use the land in many different ways. So land is a natural resource of utmost importance. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport, and communication systems. Land is an asset of finite magnitude. Therefore, it is important to use the available land for various purposes with careful planning. So we'll see in this video. We continue with this video now.
is a valuable resource that supports our population, buildings, farmlands, and forests, and also provides us with rich mineral, water, and soil resources. India has widely different geographical features, from lofty mountains in the north to vast plains and plateaus in the central region, from deserts in the west to dense forests in the east, and islands in the south, besides a long coastline. The mountains allow perennial flow of rivers like the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and the Indus. They enhance tourism and ecological prospects too. A plateau is an elevated, comparatively level expanse of land. Plateaus are rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels, and forests. Land in India can be divided into three main relief features. Around 30% of our land is occupied by mountains. 43% of it is plain. And 27% is in the form of plateau.
So you saw that land is an asset of finite magnitude. Therefore, it is very important to use the available land with careful planning. You also saw that we have many relief features in the Indian land, namely plains, mountains, and plateaus. So the land of India is divided in this manner: 43% is plains, 30% are mountains, and 27% is plateau. You also saw that foreign mountains help ensure a perennial flow of some rivers. They provide facilities for tourism and ecological aspects. The plain area provides facilities for agriculture and industry, that is 43%. And 27%, which is plateau region, they possess rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels, and forests. So this is how Indian land is distributed and how different relief features benefit or give us advantages. We'll continue with the video.
Depending on their use, our land resources can be classified as forests, net sown area, or total area under cultivation, fallow lands, other uncultivated land, and land not available for cultivation.
These are the various ways our land is utilized in India.
Fallow land can be further divided into current fallow, which is land not cultivated for 1 or less than 1 year, and other than current fallow, which is land that has remained uncultivated for 1 to 5 years. Uncultivated land, other than fallow land, is divided into permanent pastures, land under miscellaneous tree crops, and land left uncultivated for more than 5 years. This other than current fallow land is either of poor quality or cost too high to cultivate. Hence, sometimes it is cultivated once in 2 or 3 years. Land not available for cultivation is either barren wasteland, like the salty plains of the Rann of Kutch, or land used for non-agricultural purposes, like building houses, roads, and factories. Here are 2 pie charts that show the land use pattern in India in 1960 to 61 and 2008 to 2009. Let us compare the data and see how the land use pattern has changed from 1960 to 2009 in India.
Okay, so this showed us how the land is utilized in India. This is the land use pattern in India, where the total land area that India has is 3.28 million square kilometers. Out of this, 43.41% of the land area is net sown area. What is net sown area? Net sown area is the area sown more than once in an agriculture year. Plus, net sown area is also known as gross cropped area. Forests occupy 22.57% of the land area. 6.29% of the land area is wasteland. 7.92% of the land is used for non-agricultural purposes. Now, 3.45% of the land is pastoral land. What is pastoral land? Pastoral land is the land. Pastoral land is the land that is aimed at producing livestock. So rather than growing crops, they help the livestock, the wildlife to survive. So this is the land that is used as pasture for the livestock. So 1.10% of the land is for tree crops. 4.41% of the land is cultivable waste. And 3.82% of the land is fallow other than current fallow. Fallow other than current fallow means these are left uncultivated for the last 1 to 5 agricultural years. And 7.3% of the land is current fallow. Current fallow means it has been left without cultivation for 1 or less than 1 agricultural year. So this is how the land is utilized in India. This is a pie chart, 2 pie charts. One is from 1960 to 61 and one is from 2008 to 2009. Can you see the difference between the two? Look at the forest area in the two and look at the barren and unculturable wasteland between the two. While in 1960 to 61, it was 12.01%. Now it is only 8.61%. So we have tried to use, if you look at this, the barren and unculturable wasteland. And if you look at this, it has changed. Also look at the difference here. This is 22.78%. This is 18.1%. This is the forest area. So we have tried to grow the forest area. Also, the area under miscellaneous tree crops and groves and the net sown area is almost the same, 45.26%. And now it is 46.24%. So it's actually increased. And then you look at all these small ones. You can see a difference here. This is 4.76 and this was 3.73. And this is permanent pasture and grazing lands that we have. This is 3.37. This is 3.50. There's a little decrease in this. That is fallow other than current fallow. Fallow other than current fallow was the ones that are uncultivated for the past 1 to 5 years. Also over here, there's a little decrease. There's a 6.23. And now we have 4.70. This was culturable wasteland. So these were, you could cultivate here, but they were waste. So we have tried to bring that in and we are cultivating over there. This was 1.50, which has also decreased to 1.11. This is the net sown area. The net sown area are the areas sown more than once in an agricultural year. Plus, this area is also called as gross cropped area. There's also a decrease over here, 3.38 from 4.71 to 3.38, and this is the permanent pasture. Sorry, this is the current fallow. Current fallow are the lands which are left without cultivation for 1 or less than 1 agricultural year. So this is the differentiation between the two. We'll again go back and see the video.
Observe that there is no major change in the net sown area during the period. Note that the area under forest increased marginally from 1960 to 2009. But it is still way below the required 33% as planned in the National Forest Policy formulated in 1952. Permanent pastures and grazing grounds decreased during the period. This is not a good sign for thousands of people engaged in cattle rearing. The percentage of barren and wasteland decreased by almost half during the given period. However, this reclaimed land is used mainly for non-agricultural purposes. Current fallow and other than current fallow land also increased during this period. However, if these lands are included in the net sown area, since these lands are cultivated once or twice in 2 or 3 years, the percentage of net sown area goes up to 54%. Continuous and indiscriminate use of land resources without taking appropriate measures results in conversion of cultivable land into barren wasteland and exploitation of our land resources. This is called land degradation.
So we saw the difference between 1960-61, the land use pattern, and the one that is 2008 and 9. And in your textbooks, you all have a land use category of 2014-15. So this pie chart you can see is not of the total land of India because it's only for 93% of land. That is because some northern eastern states, except for Assam, have not been fully surveyed. Also, some areas of Jammu and Kashmir are occupied by Pakistan and China, and they have also not been surveyed. You all have seen that the land under permanent pasture has decreased. How are we able to feed our huge cattle population on this pasture land? And what are the consequences of it? We saw that most of, other than fallow lands are either of poor quality or the cost of cultivation of such land is very, very high. So these lands are cultivated once or twice in about 3 years. And if these are included in the net sown area, and then the percentage of net sown area in India comes to about 54% of the total reporting area. We also saw that the pattern of net sown area varies greatly from one state to another. It is over 80% of the total area in Punjab and Haryana, and less than 10% in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Can you all find out the reason why there is low proportion of net sown area in all these states? That is Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Also, the forest area in our country is lower than 33% of the geographical area. It was outlined in the National Forest Policy. It was considered essential for the maintenance of the ecological balance, the livelihood of millions of people who live on the fringes of these forests depend upon it. A part of the land is termed as wasteland, and the land put to other non-agricultural uses. Now, what does wasteland mean? You say a part of land is wasteland. So this wasteland includes rocky, arid, and desert areas, and land put together to, and the land put to other non-agricultural uses will include settlements, roads, railways, industries, forests, buildings. Continuous use of land over a long period of time without taking appropriate measures to conserve and manage it has resulted in land degradation. Serious repercussions on society and environment have happened because of land degradation. So, We saw how we get land degradation, and now we look at what are the different human and natural factors that affect the land degradation. We have shared our land with the past generations, and we will be doing so with the future generations also. 95% of our basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing are obtained from land. Human activities have not only brought about degradation of land, but have also aggravated the pace of natural forces to cause damage to land. So we have aggravated the natural forces, and this all is causing lots of damage to the land. So some human activities that such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining, and quarrying, these all have contributed significantly in land degradation. Mining sites are normally abandoned after the excavation work is complete, and this leaves deep scars and traces of overburdening. In states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Odisha, deforestation due to mining have caused severe land degradation. In states of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, over irrigation is responsible for degradation. Over irrigation, because over irrigation leads to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. And due to because over irrigation will make lots of water lagging, and this water logging will increase the salinity and alkalinity in the soil. The minerals processing like grinding of limestone for cement industry and calcite and soapstone for ceramic industry, all these generate huge quantity of dust in the atmosphere. It retards the process of infiltration of water into the soil after it settles down on the land. Recent years, industrial effluents as waste have become a major source of land and water pollution in many parts of the country. There are many ways to solve the problem of degradation. So we saw what causes degradation, land degradation. So this over here, I have put some points, which are the different human and natural factors that affect degradation. Large scale soil erosion, which is caused by running water and wind. Dumping of waste materials from mining centers and industrial units. Over irrigation also leads to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. Overgrazing by animals and deforestation by man. Waste water from the industrial units which pollute the land. And minerals processing like grinding of limestones for cement industry and calcite and soapstone for ceramic industry also creates a lot of dust. And this dust is deposited on the land, which will not let the land absorb the water. How do industries cause land degradation? Some industries dump solid waste, which contains harmful chemicals on the neighboring land. Some industries discharge waste water to the fields. Mineral processing, like grinding of limestones for cement industries and calcite and soapstone for ceramic industries, also creates a lot of dust. This dust is deposited on the land, and this dust, you know, becomes an obstacle in the land absorbing the water. Clearing of forests for industrial purpose also causes land degradation. So how can we conserve the land and soil? Soil erosion can be prevented by ending deforestation, by controlling grazing, encouraging afforestation, and practicing terrace farming in the hilly area. So there are many ways to solve the problem of land degradation. Afforestation and proper management of grazing can help to some extent. Planting of shelter belts of plants, control on overgrazing, stabilizing of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes are some of the methods to check land degradation in arid areas. So in deserts, we can create shelter belts of plants. We can grow thorny bushes, and this will prevent land degradation in the desert. Proper management of wasteland, control of mining activities, proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and waste after treatment can reduce land and water degradation in industrial and suburban areas. The mining activities should be controlled. New technology which will reduce waste can be adopted. Industrial waste should be chemically treated before being thrown away, and they should be chemically treated to remove the harmful substances before it is mixed with the river. Urban waste should be used for production of biogas and biomanure, and over irrigation should be stopped, and new methods of irrigation should be followed. So this is the amount of degraded land in India. 150 million of land is degraded in India. 56% of it is water eroded areas. 28% of it is forest degraded area. 6% of it is saline and alkaline deposits, and 10% of it is wind eroded area. Okay, so we just continue with that.
Sources. This is called land degradation. We have about 130 million hectares of degraded land in India. To give you a sense of the size, it is roughly equal to 1/3 of the total area of our country. Out of this, 56% is water eroded area, 10% is wind eroded, 28% is forest degraded area, and 6% has saline and alkaline deposits. Natural agents like wind and water constantly keep eroding and degrading land. However, human activity has contributed to and increased the pace of this natural land degradation. Here are the main factors contributing to land degradation in India. Deforestation removes the green cover required to protect land from soil erosion by wind and water, and thus contributes to land degradation. In some parts of India, overgrazing by cattle has converted permanent pastures into barren land, leading to land degradation. Examples are the states of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Rajasthan. Indiscriminate deforestation and excavation done as part of mining activity and quarrying also causes land degradation. Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, and Madhya Pradesh have suffered deforestation due to mining. Over-irrigation of cultivated land in some parts of India leads to waterlogging. This increases the saline and alkaline levels in the soil, leading to land degradation. You find this in Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh. Disposal of solid and liquid waste by industries on surrounding land or water bodies has also become a major cause of land degradation and water pollution. Industrial activities like grinding of limestone, calcite, and soapstone, which release dust, retards water infiltration into the soil. This brings us to the question, what steps can be taken to control the problem of land degradation? The solution lies.
We have already discussed this, so I want you all to take this question and make notes on it. What steps can be taken to control the problem of land degradation? I had also told you all another question for today. That is, I wanted you all to find out the reason for low proportion of net sown areas in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, and Andaman Nicobar Islands. This question is given in your textbook on page 6. Okay, so these two things should be done before the next class. With this, we end today's class. Stay home and stay safe.